morning, everyone. Thank you all very much for joining the Game Week 18 deadline stream. I hope, my fingers are crossed, that everything is going to work as it should. I have no idea what it looks like as well. I am not, of course, at home. I'm around and about over Christmas. I'm currently in like a little office thing that's outside of the house, and the Wi-Fi is not incredibly great. I do have my Wi-Fi, sort of my 4G set up to my phone. I don't know what this, I got my green screen's not perfect, but we are here. The things we do over Christmas. Hey, happy Christmas to everyone who celebrated yesterday. I hope you all had a fantastic day. I've also turned down all the settings on the stream to hopefully make it not look too different, but hopefully run a little bit smoother as well. And it seems to, right at the moment, have started okay. So we're off to a good start. Hopefully it lasts for a couple of hours. Thank you all very much for joining. Man is in the shed. Your things we've got to do. 4G is so fast. Why is it so much faster than virtually all of the Wi-Fi around the country? Anyway, thank you all very much for joining. How are we? I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas for those of you celebrating, or a nice holiday as well if you had time off work as well. At the moment, today for me is the best day of the entire year. It is Boxing Day football. We have 10 games of football over the next 2 days. We have 8 games of football today, wall-to-wall football, and the most important thing in the UK is it is all on the TV. You can pick and choose. So once this stream ends, I'm going to go and sit and watch football for 8 hours, and I cannot wait. Before we get into the stream, let's do a little round of hellos. Let's say hello to everyone in the stream. Thank you all very much for joining on this Saturday. This Saturday, it feels like a Saturday because it's deadline stream. It's not. It's what? Thursday? Thursday morning. Sorry, one moment. But I got my cup of tea. Let's do a little bit of hellos. Who have we got? Varon, hello. Good morning to Lee. Good morning to Gavin. Good morning to Duncan. Good morning to Ivar. Good morning to Andreas. Good morning to Luke. Good morning to Adrian. Good morning to Marbella. Hello to all the moderators and members. BL, thank you for all of your support on the channel. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Who have we got? We've got Vipin. We've got Jordan, we've got Albin, we've got Visnu, we've got Eric, we've got TJ, we've got Lindsay, we've got Sanyam, we've got Nir, T-Boy, Suresh, Robin, Fayez, Amar, Andri, David, Nelson, Mason, Srang, Tinker, Duncan, Marcus, We Talk Football, Malik, AA Analyst, Mohammed, Mr. What's Up, Osman, Mustafa, Kevin, Kat, JR, Cam, Matt, Ethan, Karaoke, Malik, and Brotherman. Hello, hello. Thank you all very much for joining. It is all feels a little bit strange. Right, so I also have, just to explain what's going on, I have basically there are screens here that don't work with my computer. So I have this little monitor with stuff on, and then like right over there where I'm looking now, there is like a little TV in the corner, which I've had to plug in my monitor, which is where all my streaming stuff is. So if I'm looking miles away up there, that's because I'm just checking that the stream is running okay. But we have green lights at the moment, which is not what I thought I'd see when I clicked go live this morning. But here we are. Here we are. What's my favourite bird? I don't know. At this time of year, a robin's got to be up there. I don't know. Yes, I haven't sold Bukayo Saka yet. Hello, hello. Thank you. Enjoy your run. Hi. Holly was waiting to go on her run to make sure that my stream started okay, because I'm at her parents' house at the moment. So I think she was feeling the stress as I was, but we are good to go. Yeah, I haven't sold Bukayo Saka yet, and I actually wonder if I won't this week. Because I don't know if I love the replacements enough. Like, I think I like Bruno, but the next three are not like fantastic. Like Wolves away and Newcastle, Liverpool. Like, it's okay. Like, I could go to Odegaard, but the issue with going Odegaard is it blocks it blocks potentially Gabriel Jesus, and I also potentially like the idea of Martinelli. But then if I go Martinelli, then I block Odegaard if he's the right pick, and I block Gabriel Jesus if he remains the right pick. I could go down to someone like a Gordon or a Sarr, but I don't think they're particularly better than an Enzo Fernandez. So the price drop last night didn't impact my selling value. The price drop whenever it was last weekend did, but that was the first price drop, and I just didn't know who I wanted, so I just took the price drop, which meant that the price drop last night didn't actually impact me. So I've lost 0.1 on him. I just don't love any of the replacements. I'll be really interested to hear in the chat who you plan on going to as your replacement. Marcus, this is actually quite a common question. If you've got João Pedro and you've got Matheus Cunha and you're wondering who to sell to Isaac, I would still be saying sell Cunha. The fixtures coming up for Wolves are definitely worse. And he's presumably still going to get a ban at some point. So I would be recommending selling Cunha for Isaac if you have the ability to do it. With Harry keeping Saka, you just know Saka's going to start and score a brace. Yeah, let's hope. Semenyo or Evan Nilsson. If I'm starting one this week, it's still Evan Nilsson, I think. Szoboszlai, he's not just guaranteed to start. Foden, Odegaard, Maddison. So Foden, I don't mind, but City's form, and I just not guaranteed he's starting. Odegaard, yeah, but my issue with Odegaard is presumably he's now going to be playing behind Jesus and behind Havertz, which I think makes his goal threat much lower from open play. But from set pieces, he's likely to be on penalties and more corners now without Saka as well. So it's kind of a win some, you lose some with Odegaard. Murphy, I don't hate. I probably would go, because the issue is we don't need cheap options now. I basically got all the money because I don't really need it for that much else. Potentially a João Pedro replacement. The other thing that I'm wondering, so basically that's why I haven't sold him, because I haven't decided on it. The one thing I have realised, I have exact money for it, but is I can do Saka to, let's say Martinelli was, there we go. Let's say Martinelli ended up, so let's say I go Bruno, and Martinelli ends up being the right pick. I can get to him from Enzo. I have exact money. I have 0.1 spare on those two moves. So part of me thinks, well, I should just go Bruno, because if it doesn't work out, I can still go and get Martinelli. Or if it isn't Martinelli and it's Jesus, I can still go and get Jesus. I still have the ability. It only really locks me out of Martin Odegaard. So there's questions about the Liverpool defense in the chat. Liverpool midfield. The only thing with the Liverpool midfield is I think it's really difficult to predict who gets reasonable minutes over the next two games. I think Jota probably starts one, which means does Diaz only start one? Does Gakpo start two? Probably someone starts two, but I don't know whether it's going to be Diaz or it's going to be Gakpo. So right now, I think the Liverpool midfield are really exciting picks, but I think they might be a little bit frustrating. Martinelli, if I didn't have Raya, I probably would go Martinelli or Odegaard, yeah, and I wouldn't worry about I wouldn't worry too much about the blocking off, because you don't have the triple up. Sorry if I'm looking down a lot. That's where the chat is for today. Sell Jackson and bring in Haaland. So, I wouldn't do that. I'm hoping Jackson gets a goal in one of the next two, because I could do with some points from him. But I don't mind him. I think he's just a very decent long-term hold, and I just want to not worry about him with some of the fixtures that Chelsea have still got. I'll probably reevaluate him maybe going into game week 23, but between now and then, even after that, it's City, great. If City are still not great, am I going to worry about that? No. Game week 24 is West Ham at home, then it's Brighton, Villa. So realistically, my hope is that I hold him all the way up until here. Then it might be a blank in game week 29 against Arsenal if they get to the cup final. So I'm hoping I don't have to worry too much about Jackson at the moment. Foden, I just don't think he's really worth the money. That consolation goal, is that making skewing your results, because it just was a rebound, and then I think Luka Dean slips on the floor. So Murphy or Son, again, the issue is right now we're not pressed for cash, so Son is So, like, if I go Son versus I go Ismail Assar, like, realistically, I'm going to be leaving the money in the bank this week. I might need it in future weeks, though, so I don't think it's really worth it for, like, I don't think Son's worth the money. Like, Son is not the best Spurs mid at the moment, I don't think. Start Mbumo or Sarr. Who have Brentford got? Who do Brentford have? Oh, Brighton away. I'd probably play Mbumo over Sarr with that. I'm interested to see what happens with Brighton because could really do with João Pedro doing something. If not, he may well be going next week. Which is why I don't think I'll go Martinelli this week, because if I go Martinelli and Jesus scores again, then I'll probably want that. But I don't know. I don't know how likely the Martinelli experiment is to... Sorry, the Gabriel Jesus experiment is to stick long term for them. But if you have a gut feeling on Foden, like, absolutely go for it. I mean, the issue with the good thing is we don't really need the money, so you can really do it because people going for cheaper options are likely to leave money sat in the bank at the moment. Sarr's going to be very popular next week with Southampton at home. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I play Enzo and Sarr looks really good and he walks into Southampton at home, then maybe I just go to Sarr. So, like, these fixtures for Palace are really nice, and Sarr could be a really good option. So if Sarr looks good again and plays very decent minutes again, maybe I go to Sarr. But I suppose I could do Enzo to Sarr. But there's just quite a lot of options that I don't particularly love at the moment, which is why I haven't made a transfer. I'm not ruling it out. I think if I do make a transfer today, it probably will be to Bruno, just because... if you're going Bruno, you kind of need him short term. Like, you want him for probably Wolves and then maybe Newcastle. Liverpool's not great. And then it's Southampton at home, Brighton at home, Fulham away, Palace at home. Like, this is a pretty nice run of 4 games. So, it's just game week 20. The issue is game week 20 is a pretty rough set of fixtures generally. If you don't have Villa. Villa have Leicester at home in game week 20. Outside of that, Spurs play Newcastle. Bournemouth play Everton. Palace, Chelsea. City West Ham's pretty good if you've got City. Like, Brentford away at Southampton. Brighton, Arsenal. Like, Fulham at home to Ipswich is good. So I have no Fulham and I have no Villa. Which means I've got, like... I'll have, like, 4 players in this game. I'll have, like, 4 players in that game and stuff like that. So there is a little bit of that playing on my mind at the moment. Anyway... Triple captain Salah, what's my opinion? I actually don't hate it. Like, from Arnie Slot's comments, I mean, it sounds like they'll play a reasonably strong team. I do think that if they get the game won, he might not play the 90, and we see so many late returns for Salah in games so far this season. I also just think we're going to get 3 doubles later on in the season, so I don't particularly feel a need to play it. So... I think there's just going to be better opportunities. Do I think this is a bad opportunity? Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But do I think there are better ones? Probably. That's probably where I'm at with the triple captaincy. I'm definitely not playing my triple captain in a single game week this year. So if you've still got it, that will be my recommendation, to just hold the triple captain until we get to a double. But if you wanted to play it today, 8 o'clock under the lights, looking at how Leicester defend versus how Liverpool are attacking, yeah, I don't mind that. That makes me think, well, maybe we should be looking at a Liverpool attacker, but I just really don't know who it's going to be. Could easily be Jota starts tonight. It could even be Darwin plays, because it's Leicester at home, and then they save Diaz or Gakpo for their next game, whoever it is. They're away from home, aren't they? West Ham away on Sunday. Like, that's not a great turnaround. Thursday, Sunday is pretty short. So if someone like Luis Diaz starts this, is he going to start this? Are they going to want players to play both of these? So there is a slight risk of Trent. I know I've seen a few people asking in the chat, is Trent going to start? I would expect him to. I do think there'll be an early sub for Trent though, but I do think he'll probably start, hopefully play 60, 70 and then come off. But I do think there is a risk of early subs and reduced minutes for pretty much all Liverpool players. Will Quanta start? I would say probably not. Do I think he'll get on the pitch? Almost certainly. Yeah. Start Hall or Levi Colwill. I probably would go with Colwill. I probably would go just the attacking threat that he's got there. Maybe Chelsea have a better clean sheet odds, but I probably would go Lewis Hall. You've done Saka to Martinelli, thinking of Raul to Jackson or Jesus for free. If you're buying now, I probably would buy Gabriel Jesus and take the punt on it. I probably would buy Jesus over him. Yeah. I probably would go Jesus over Jackson. I mean, both have the same risk of minutes, but Jesus looks really important for Arsenal at this moment. I mean, the past 2 games, but I'd probably take the punt on Jesus. You already did Saka to Bruno. Do I sell Evan Nilsson or Pedro to Slanky for a hit? No. Away at Forest is not a fixture worth a hit for Slanky, I don't think. No. Confused whether to keep Cunha or replace him with Jesus. If you can do Cunha to Jesus for free, I would. Yeah, I would do it. I just think the ban's going to come for Cunha. He is playing United. Yes, United just lost, but it's still United. Jesus is at home to Ipswich. He's a man absolutely on form at the moment. So, yeah. You still own Cunha and Rodgers. Would I sell Saka and Cunha to bring in Isak? What are the mids to buy? I would do Cunha to Isak. Mids to buy, Bruno, Martinelli, Gordon, Ismail Assar is probably it. I'm just a bigger fan of Martinelli than I am Odegaard at the moment. But I like Odegaard if he gets pens and stuff like that, then I don't hate it. But yeah. Would I sell João Pedro to Lewis for a hit? No. I mean, if I sell Saka and I have money for João Pedro to Jesus for a hit, I don't think I'm going to do that, no. Pretty sure I'll just let that one go this week and then potentially have a look next week. But if you're not buying for Ipswich at home, are you really ever going to buy? So, yeah, I don't know. One of those mids is going to score today, at least one. The other thing with it is like, well, I don't like any of them at the moment, but what's today going to show me? Right, if Bruno scores, am I going to go and buy him? So I'm basically just going to points chase. And like, oh, if Martinelli scores tomorrow night, I'll go and buy him. So I'm just going to points change and try and chase the points that I miss by not buying the player this week. So that's my only thought. Like, I think waiting is not a bad option, but I don't think today's football is actually going to change particularly much. Is the only thing. Salah for triple captain. Yeah, I've spoken about it. I don't particularly want to do it this week just for reduced minutes and the fact there are doubles later down the line. Start Ahmad or Rodgers. I play Ahmad against Wolves over Morgan Rodgers. Just like this Man United team are so hit and miss that once they've missed, you kind of expect them to have a good game, but yeah, let's see. Kulusevski for Saka. He's more involved than Son. I mean, I wouldn't be buying Son. I definitely wouldn't. I'd probably go Kulusevski or Maddison. Kulusevski's better for minutes. Maddison's probably better from open play threat. His per minute. Sorry, Maddison's probably better, but it's pretty close between the two. Pedro to Gabriel Jesus for a hit. No, so I wouldn't do that. I would not. Don't think it's worth a hit this week. Adam, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a fantastic day. Best 7.1 mid, Jesus or Martinelli. Best 7.1 mid, Martinelli, Jesus or Martinelli. Right now, probably Martinelli, but we don't know what the state of Jesus is enough. Is Kulu an option? Yeah, absolutely. He's the most nailed Spurs mid at the moment, I'd say. Maddison is, if they play the same minutes, you'll want Maddison over Kulusevski, but if they don't play the most minutes, you'll want the one who plays. You want the one that plays more minutes, basically. What is going on? My mouse broke. Cunha to Jesus for a hit. Probably not, no. Given that Cunha is not banned. What do I think about triple captain Salah? We've done. Bench Colwill or Robinson. I'd probably bench Robinson. I'd probably play the home defender. Although Robinson's pretty good going forward, but I probably would bench Robinson. Thoughts on Diaz? I just don't trust his minutes enough over Christmas to buy him personally. So I'm not guaranteeing that Diaz starts today. So I would probably not go. I mean, I don't love any of the Liverpool mids. I don't really love any of the Liverpool players that isn't Van Dijk, Trent, Alisson, Salah right now. So I don't think I'll be punting on a Liverpool mid. Am I going to replace Saka? I haven't actually decided. I may just play Enzo this week and decide after today's games who I like and make a transfer this evening. Because I'm not sold on any of them. The only issue is because I'm not sold on any of them, what's today going to do? I'm just going to chase points. That's the only negative of just playing Enzo this week. But Enzo's got Fulham at home. Like, it's a pretty alright fixture. So, triple captain Salah, I said no, basically. I said I don't mind it. I think it's a good opportunity to use it, but I think there are better opportunities to use it. Steve, how are we doing? Steve, what do you think? Should I sell Saka or just play Enzo and sell him for someone else? Is Fernandes the only option? You already got Ahmad. No, I like Fernandes. I like Martinelli, Odegaard, Gordon, and Ismail Assar are my top 5 replacements for him, probably. You transferred Saka for Enzo. Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm interested to know what you use the money for, but yeah, I don't mind that as a transfer. Saka to Cunha and Bruno. Saka to Bruno and Cunha to Jesus. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that, particularly if it's for free. I'm not sure some of these transfers are worth hits, but I probably would do them for free. Pedro to Jesus for free. Yes, not for a hit. Trent captain. He's probably up there with one of the best differential captains of the game week. So I don't mind it. Yeah. Don't mind it at all. Enzo to Martinelli for a hit. I mean, no. I don't think I'd do that for a -4. I mean, I don't know who it makes you bench, but I probably don't think I'd do Enzo to Martinelli for a hit, no. On Wildcard, would I double up on Man United, Bruno and Ahmad? Probably not. It might make me not go Ahmad. It might make me go Bruno. I'd probably go Salah, Palmer, Bruno, like Martinelli, Sarr in my midfield. And then up front go Isak, Jackson, Jesus or something like that. If you can afford that. Something like that would be my wild card. I haven't thought about it and I don't know if that's something that you can afford, but that's something I'd have a look at. Do Greaves to Munoz from -4 and start Munoz or start Aina? To be honest, I'd probably just start Aina. The only thing is are you going to have a benching issue like further down the line? Like if you're going to need Munoz in your squad, like they've got Southampton at home next week. And I think Forest have got... Who have Forest got next week? Sorry, I'm basically trying to charge my mouse because it's going to run out of battery. So every time I have to do something, I have to unplug it. Sorry, GW18. Forest away at Everton. I mean, you could just play Aina next week. I probably would. I'd probably take the hit and do something exciting, but there's not that much to it. Honestly, who puts the charger for a mouse on the bottom of the mouse? Like, who thought that was a good idea? So then you can't use it. Do I get Odegaard or Bruno or Martinelli? It's really close. Bruno's my most likely at the moment if I make a transfer. Diaz to Saka. Diaz for Saka. I wouldn't massively be recommending buying Liverpool midfielders. If you get the one that starts today, then great. If you don't get the one that starts today, you'll be annoyed. So you'll be annoyed. Play Enzo or Rodgers. Probably would play Rodgers. Is this the last week for the first wildcard? No, you have until game week 19. So after this deadline, it will then be the last opportunity to play your wildcard. If you haven't used your first wildcard already. Is Trent worth a -4 for 8 Nori? Probably. Not necessarily this week. Well, maybe this week. It may well pay off. But yeah, like at some point, At some point, it probably will be. Apparently, it's an Apple tactic to make it better for marketing. What? Because people post about it and it annoys them. Visa to Jesus or Enzo to Martinelli. Visa to Jesus is probably the one I would do. Because Enzo's still a fine pick. Would I take a -4 for double Liverpool defence? It depends who you're selling. Like, would I do in my team Munoz to Van Dijk? Absolutely not. But if it's a like an Aina, or if it's someone else, then maybe. Yeah, it depends who you're selling. Probably not though. Bench one of Aina, Mazraoui, or sell Mazraoui to Munoz for a -4. I probably would just do. I'd probably just play Mazraoui. That's probably best for you this week. I mean, part of me would say just go and get Munoz because he's got Southampton at home next week when you might need that. But personally, I probably wouldn't take a hit for a Munoz. I mean, I did it last week and he didn't play, but yeah. Should I captain Haaland or Salah? Salah is clear the other one. Oh, no benching order top right. I mean, I can add it in. I do have to look miles up here. I can add players in. I also can't really see. So I would play Rodgers. So I would play João Pedro over Cunha over Rodgers over Enzo. I would play Ahmad. If you have players you want adding to the benching rankings, please let me know and I will get it added in. Mazraoui or Robinson? Mazraoui probably. Rodgers, Eze, Raul, Jimenez. Probably Jimenez. Enzo I would play over Iwobi. Who I'd play Jimenez over Iwobi. Jota or Martinelli. I wouldn't buy Jota. I don't think Jota starts today. Larson. No worries. Semenyo. I'd play Semenyo quite high up. Lewis or I'll do a defender one on the other side. So I would play Hall over Colwill. I'd play Colwill over Robinson / Castagna. I would play Colwill or Luca Dean. Who do Villa have? Villa new away at Newcastle. Okay. Duran best pick this week? Personally not. I just wouldn't buy Duran because I think eventually Watkins will get a game. Whether permanent or not, I think Watkins will come back in. So Lewis or Colwill, we've got Aina. Aina I'd probably play quite high up. Fabianski over Verbruggen. Probably. Mikalenko or Robinson? Robinson. Mikalenko. Start Kirkes or Lewis. As in Rico Lewis. Or Lewis Hall. Kirkes is a definite start. As are the Gvardiol and Rico Lewis. Howson goes with Kirkes basically. Yeah. He's got good attacking threat. He's got good goal threat. Howson. Sorry, 1 sec and I'll be back to the chat. Hall or Robinson we've got. Semenyo or Enzo we've got. Hall or Colwill. Mikalenko or Castagna. Cucurella over Robinson definitely. Cool. That should probably be that. I have space for one more attacker. Oh, and Burmo we will put in. Good shout. I'd put Burmo pretty high, to be honest. There we go. Thank you all very much. Right. Bench Semenyo or Enzo. I have Semenyo higher in my ranking than I have Enzo. 8 Nori. I mean, 8 Nori I wouldn't start. There we go. Ismail Assar. Yeah, if you're buying Sarr this week, I would definitely play him. Where would he go in the benching ranking? Ismail Assar. Probably above. Cool. There we go. Can you say hello to your son, Bodhi, please? He loves watching your streams. Welcome. Thank you very much for watching my streams. I appreciate it. We are trying to hit 150,000 subscribers today. We're about 500 away. So if you are watching and you haven't liked the stream or you haven't subscribed yet, please do. That would be greatly appreciated. On Wildcard, can't afford. Love my suggested front seven, but you can't afford it. Salah, Palmer, Bruno, Jesus, Isak, Rogers. But then is Wood, Sarr versus João Pedro, Martinelli. I probably would go João Pedro, yeah, if you're not using the Arsenal spot elsewhere, then João Pedro, Martinelli. You need to take a 3.9 goalkeeper. Probably just Valdemarsson. I don't particularly have any preference on the 3.9 goalkeepers. Cunha will play. Yes, he hasn't received his suspension yet, so he should be all available to play. Yes, start Sarr or Ahmad. It is in the benching ranking now. I will ping it up for a little bit of time. There you go. If you're looking for benching decisions, it will be in the top right-hand corner right about now. You can go and check that out if you please. Has most of the players you are having a look at in there. Ismail Assar or Luis Diaz. I personally wouldn't be buying a Liverpool midfielder right now. I just don't know who's going to start today. I would not be surprised to see Darwin start up front and it be someone else out on the left. So I wouldn't be taking the risk on a Liverpool midfielder. Sell and Bruno. Yeah, I think the next couple are actually okay for him, but I don't think he's the best long-term hold. So I don't think you need to rush to sell Bruno ever, to be honest. And a lot of people sold him because they need the money. But the issue is because Saka is now injured, the chances are that we don't really need the money for anything. Isn't the return potential for Diaz this game week worth his benching in game week 19? Potentially, but what happens if he gets benched today? And then it's not worth it, right? So would I sell João Pedro for Jesus or roll? I would probably take the chance on it and do it if it's for free. I wouldn't do it for a roll. Leonardo, thank you very much for joining as a base tier member. Thank you very much. Welcome to the channel. So what am I going to do with my team? I haven't decided. I might sell Saka or I might just play Enzo Fernandez this week and decide once I've seen some more football today who it's going to be as a replacement for Saka. But yeah, it's pretty close between the two. Would I rather sell Cunha or João Pedro for Isak for a hit? Cunha. Just the Wolves fixtures. You'll want rid of Cunha at some point. João Pedro has a couple of tricky games in the next 3, but he's still the better long-term hold in my opinion. Play Hall over Robinson. Yes, Hall is above Robinson in my benching ranking. He is, yeah. Shall I play Ahmad or Rogers? Again, Ahmad. Let me ping my benching ranking up again. If you want to have a look at who to start versus who to bench, it should be in the top right-hand corner. Now for you, top left is good. Bottom right is bad. You've got attackers on the left. And then you've got defenders on the right-hand side. Hall or Munoz. I mean, Munoz, if you own him, is a definite start. Dan, no worries. Thank you for reminding me. Start Munoz or Kirkes? I would start Kirkes over Munoz. Just, I play the home fixture. If I had Bruno and Ahmad, who you'd be benching, I'd just definitely be benching Ahmad. Yeah, I'd just be playing the man that's on set pieces and on penalties as well. Ahmad started taking some corners, which was nice to see, but yeah, I'd be playing Bruno over Ahmad. Like, I could do Saka to Bruno and bench Ahmad, but I still think Ahmad's better than Enzo. Wood or Jackson for Cunha? I mean, I probably wouldn't make either of those transfers today. I would probably, if you've got Cunha, the only reason I'd be selling Cunha is to go to Isak or Jesus, I think. Yeah, I would just give Cunha a chance against Man United, to be honest. Start João Pedro or Mbeumo, João Pedro. That graphic's very confusing. João Pedro, good. And then at the bottom is... I mean, I did number them last time, but I don't know if I've got space. Three. 4. Start Semenyo or Sarr again. It is in there. I would start Sarr over Semenyo. Where do we get to? Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. 13. There we go. Mikalenko. So Rodgers or Mbeumo? I'd play Mbeumo, definitely. Let's do some potential transfer questions. Would I start Bowen and João Pedro over Semenyo? Yes, I would. Would I do the same in your position? Yes. I mean, Bowen against Southampton, like anyone against Southampton is a definite start. So then it's just João Pedro versus Semenyo, and I'd take the player on penalties there. Yeah, even if João Pedro's positioning has not been what we wanted it to be over the past couple of weeks. Bring in Foden and Solanke or Odegaard and Isak. Definitely Odegaard and Isak. Foden is just not worth the money to sacrifice Isak for. Isak's the most important player on that list of players you just mentioned. So yeah, I understand the Foden love, but I also don't agree with it. It's probably with them. I mean, I understand why people want to take the punt on Foden, but I don't agree with the reasoning personally. Isak for a hit or next week. It depends who you're selling. I'd probably say it's not worth a hit, but if you've got another transfer you want to do next week, then maybe you just do it for a hit. Who would I buy for Saka? Bruno Fernandes, Martinelli, Odegaard, Gordon, Ismail Assar are my top 5 replacements. Maybe I'll put that in the other hot topic. Best Saka replacement. Fernandes, Martinelli, Odegaard, Gordon, Sarr. There we go. Will I sell Saka? I haven't actually decided if I'm going to bench Saka. If I'm going to sell Saka, I could just bench him for Enzo, and decide next week. The Saka replacements in that order. My number 1 is Martinelli, but it takes out an Arsenal spot. So it's quite hard to rank it. I think I'd have Martinelli. I'll put Fernandes 1 because it will block triple Arsenal for most of you. Martinelli 2. Probably Sarr 3, then Gordon, then Odegaard. Probably in that order. Triple captain Salah. Personally, it's not for me. There's going to be double game weeks later down the line where Salah is likely to get more minutes than he's going to get today. So, I it's not for me the triple captaincy on Salah, but I understand if you want to play it because, yeah. Raya, Hall, Gabriel, Trent, Palmer, Rodgers, Iwobi, Saka, Jackson, Cunha, Salah, Palmer, Rodgers, Iwobi. No free transfer. Sold Saka for Rodgers to bring in Isak for Jobber. I think I lost it. I don't mind that. I don't know who your last midfielder is and if you've got money in the bank, because Salah, Palmer, Rodgers, Iwobi. Who's your fifth midfielder? Because I'm surprised Iwobi's starting, but maybe you back them against Chelsea and maybe it's just that. If I got Gomez, do I need Trent? I mean, Trent is very different to Gomez. He offers the attacking threat like we saw last game against Spurs. He's not essential, but he's very, very popular this week, Trent. How about Son or Kulusevski for Saka? I wouldn't be buying Son. Son is definitely not worth the money to me. Could it be Kulusevski? Yeah. Do I like the Spurs consistency? Maybe not. Like, they do chop and change stuff. Like, Kulusevski's not even guaranteed to play minutes, so I that's why Kulusevski's not in my top 3. 1 sec. Sorry. I had to blow my nose and I didn't want anyone to either hear it or see it. So, there we go. Trent for Gomez for a hit. I mean, it feels weird, but I probably would. He quit. Yeah. Yeah. Trent for a -4. It depends who you're selling. I probably would do Aït-Nouri to Trent for a hit, or I probably would do Gomez to Trent for a hit. Like, I probably think it's something I probably would. I think I probably would. We need 450 subscribers for 150,000. If you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do. And if you want to support the channel but you already are subscribed, if you could drop a like on the stream, we'll try and hit 1,000 likes soon on the stream. That would be great. If you haven't already, a little bit of a Christmas-like. Saka to Martinelli and Cunha to Isak for -4. Yeah, I don't mind that. I probably would do those. 3 questions. Sold Saka, got Bruno Fernandes and Isak with a -4. Is it a bad move? No, I like them. Same midfield forward as you. Do I play Ahmad and Bruno or play Enzo, also Robinson or Harwood Bellis? Robinson over Harwood Bellis, and I would still be benching Enzo. If I do Saka to Bruno Fernandes, I will still bench Enzo Fernandez because I've already got Palmer and Jackson in there as well. So I'm interested to know what like the effective ownership of Palmer is this week because it's been above 100%. So he's actually been good for rank that he's blanked. But Mikalenko or Robinson? Robinson, I would play. Start Aït-Nouri or Munoz. I'd definitely play Munoz if you've got him. Would I play Ahmad and Bruno over Rodgers and Bruno? Yes, I probably would. I think that Villa-Newcastle game is really, really difficult to call. So, yeah, I mean, Isak's probably worth it, but outside of that, I think the game is not the easiest to call. Diaz, I can't be certain enough that Diaz starts tonight for me to recommend anyone to buy him. Like, would we be surprised if it's Gakpo Darwin or Gakpo Jota or Darwin on the left, Diaz in the middle? Like, it could be any of these things. It could be Diaz, Gakpo. It could be anything. They got 4 attackers there. In theory, it could be a combination of any of them. So, why don't I like Foden? Just because I don't like 9 million to buy a City player the way they're playing at the moment just doesn't feel quite right. And they're playing against Everton. Everton have 5 clean sheets in their last 6 now. Pickford is 4th in all of Europe for clean sheets so far this season. And they've lost 2 of their last 13. Like, Everton are not mugs at the moment. Now, they do have certain games, like the Man United game, where they fall apart. But We've seen it. They've kept clean sheets recently against Arsenal. They've kept them against Chelsea. They've kept them... And I know as a Mikalenko owner, like, don't get me wrong. Clean sheet against Wolves. Clean sheet against Arsenal. Clean sheet against Chelsea. Clean sheet against Brentford. Clean sheet against West Ham. Conceded once to Southampton. Conceded once to Fulham. Clean sheet against Ipswich. Clean sheet against Newcastle. Conceded once to Palace. Conceded once to Leicester. And then at the start of the season, they always start slowly. So... yeah. Why would I buy Fernandes instead of Sarr? I mean, because Sarr might still be one of those players who's a little bit hit and miss. You still don't know, like, he's going to do this every week. We do kind of know what we're going to get from Bruno. And there's a lot of frustration involved in getting what you're going to get from Bruno. But -12, Saka to Sarr, Kirkes to Trent, Flecken to Alisson, Pedro to Jesus. Pedro to Jesus isn't worth a hit. Saka to Sarr, Kirkes to Trent. Kirkes to Trent, I don't particularly like that. Flecken, I don't love that, -12. -8, Saka to Martinelli, Kirkes to Trent, Flecken to Alisson, or -4, Saka to Martinelli, Flecken to Alisson. I'd probably do the -4. I just don't think some of those others are worth the minus. Like, Kirkes out for Trent. Like, Trent's great, but are we taking hits to sell Kirkes? Doesn't feel quite right? Feels like one of the best defenders in the game at the moment, so... Sarr feels like shiny new toy syndrome. I would agree, but the thing is with Sarr is there have been some pretty reliable, pretty decent returns there for a while for him. Like, okay, not that long, right? He hauled against Villa. His data's not been bad. Like, if you look from, like, maybe here, 0.5, 0.38, 0.8, 1, 0.05. Okay, not great against Ipswich, 0.18. Okay, but then 0.9, 0.57. Like, Odegaard and Bruno are not putting up better numbers than Ismaila Sarr is. Like, these numbers are not better than Sarr's. Like, yeah, he had one game against West Ham, he got 1.15. Outside of that, he's still averaging 0.5 XGI per 90. And Fernandes is not much better either. Like, he's averaging 0.6. His is slightly better. Like, recently there have been a couple of good games, but before that, 0.36 against Forest, 0.14 against Arsenal, 0.21. Like, this data isn't massively better than what you're getting from someone at Sarr's price. The only thing with Sarr is I don't really have anything to spend the money on. Which is why I think I'd go to a Martinelli, or I'd go to... I mean, the good thing about Martinelli is he suddenly plays a lot of minutes as soon as Saka goes out. I think his minutes go way up. That's why I quite like the idea of Martinelli. Like, he does have this in him of, like, double returns, but then he does also have the ability to blank continuously. I don't know. I quite like the Martinelli pick. Because, like, if I do Saka to Sarr, for example, well, I'm just going to be sat with 4.4 in the bank. I mean, I could do Enzo up to Martinelli, or up to Bruno. I think I'm going to have exact money for this. Oh no, Jesus is more expensive now. But you know what I mean? Like, Maddison, yeah, like, I don't mind Maddison if his minutes are going to be reliable enough. Like, if we look at Maddison, we can talk about any midfielders if you want to put them in the chat. Because it is the big question of this week. Like, what? Like, what here? Like, 2 benchings there. Okay, 80, 84, 79... 11, 76, 57. Like, his minutes are pretty reliable, and I think you could put a lot of those things down to game state. Like, they were losing that game against Liverpool. They needed to change something. That game was won against Southampton. Okay, he didn't start Chelsea, and it was a mistake. Like, they were bad for it. Gabriel Jesus has 4 yellows. It's only 2 games more players have got to get through in order to miss their suspension, though. So, I do wonder about Martinelli. Do wonder about Martinelli, but if this is the issue. If Jesus continues to play, like, he's just the best, and that's why I'm not certain I want to buy Martinelli this week. Talk about Havertz. The issue is Havertz plays deeper than Jesus, so I don't really see and he played less minutes. I don't really see a world where I buy Havertz over Jesus. I don't really see why you'd buy one and not the other. You'd buy Havertz and not Jesus. Havertz is more expensive. Right now, he's got less goal threat than him. So, no, I really like Salah if you need the money for something else. Let's say you've already got Bruno or you've already got another midfielder and you do Saka down to Salah and that frees up money to go Trent or Isak in. I really, really like Salah for that. But for me, I don't need the money. The money does nothing for me because I've already got Isak, I've already got Jackson, I've already got Trent. So I can just, the money I need is much less. It's like Saka down to Bruno allows Pedro up to Jesus if I wanted to do that. So that's the difference. If you need the money, let's say you want to go and get Alisson, let's say you don't have Trent yet or you don't have Isak, that money is much more useful for you. But for me, the money is not that much of an issue. So I think most likely is either Bruno or it's Roll. Because if I go Bruno, I can still get to Martinelli and I can still get to Jesus. And I can have a look tomorrow evening at which I want. So, and I know I miss Ipswich. And that's the only issue with this plan. But if I do Saka to Bruno, I then have money in the bank to either do Enzo or I could do Enzo to Martinelli if Martinelli's the one I want. Or if Jesus starts again and let's say he looks good again, let's say he scores again, I just do João Pedro to Jesus. I've got money for both of those transfers. And let's say neither of them look great, then I don't need to do it. So I do have my eye on Bruno probably most and leaving the door open for either Martinelli or for Gabriel Jesus. That's my thought process. So it's either I suppose the other thing is if I don't do it, the benefit to that and it's not Bruno, then I could do something different. I could go, let's say it is Martinelli, I do Saka to Martinelli and then I have 3.5. I could do João Pedro to, I don't know, there's no one really in that forward bracket now, or I don't do that and I decide I want to do Enzo to someone else at that price, right? Let's say Maddison looks good again, I could go there. So if we could get to a point where Burma was back on the menu, that would be ideal. But yeah, there's just a lot of moving parts and I'm not certain that I know the answer enough to make the transfer this week. It's either Roll or it's buy Bruno for me. Kudus and Bowen, they're great if you own them this week. They've got Southampton. It's the best fixture they have, apart from maybe at home to Leicester for Liverpool. But I can't recommend anyone to buy them because after this week, their fixtures get really, really bad. Jacob Murphy is not a bad cheap option either. Yeah, he's one. And I'm a big fan of Jacob Murphy. I was picking him up at the start of the season and it didn't really work. And it is starting to work now. The issue you have with Murphy is this, 59, 63, 63. He's almost guaranteed you'll be stressing at the 60th minute about whether he gets to it and he's just going to come off. He rarely, 64, 68, 57, even... He's been starting games now and they're better with him in the team. They are definitely better with him in the side. But he doesn't play 90. Bruno overrated? Yeah, maybe, but he's overrated. But I don't need the money for something. So I'm suddenly not comparing value for value. What's the best way to explain it? So if I let's say Saka was still available, right? And then realistically, I'm comparing Bruno and Munoz, or Bruno and Robinson versus Trent, or let's think of a better example. But Bruno, Trent, Gabriel versus Ismail Assar, Munoz, Robinson. If you're looking at those combinations, I don't know if they're the right price. Suddenly you're well, of course the option without Bruno is wrong. The option without Bruno is the worst situation there. But we're not comparing that anymore because we don't need the money for anything, because we don't want Haaland and Saka's injured, which is the only two premiums in the game now, really, that we want. Apart from Salah, we all own them. So, to cut a long story short, we're now basically comparing Bruno, Gabriel, Trent with Salah, Gabriel, Trent. The value is much different because we don't need the money for something else. I may well go Bruno. Double Man United mids. Does that feel right? Probably not, but that's Salah, sorry. Also, congratulations to everyone who watched my Christmas Day video. First of all, thank you all very much for watching it. To everyone that noticed that I accidentally said I would captain Saka instead of saying Salah. Like, these fixtures are pretty good. It's just game week 20, which is horrible. Like, game week 20, I'll have Isak against Spurs. I'll have triple Chelsea away at Palace with Munoz for Palace. I will have maybe an Arsenal attack away at Brighton if I buy one. Double Man United attack away at Liverpool. Salah and Trent in that fixture. It's just not great. It's just not great. But I think Bruno's... It's either Bruno or Roll. It's either Bruno or Roll. And then I can decide on Jesus versus Martinelli next week. Would I take a -4 for Trent? It kind of depends who you're It kind of depends on who you're selling. I wouldn't be against it if the right defender is leaving. But like if it was me, let's say I had, I don't know, Trent. I don't know if I had who in Trent's place, but if it was Munoz, for example, like I wouldn't do that. If I had Rico Lewis or Guardiola, like I wouldn't do that, for example. If Haaland scored 3 today, would I want that money though? Maybe. But I just have no... It's just not really a way to get to... I don't think I'd have a route to... How would I get to Haaland? How would I get there? I'd have to... I have no idea how I'd get to Haaland. Today is the best entry point for Arsenal. It is a home to Ipswich. I do get that. I do get that. I do like Martinelli. 90 minutes on that right-hand side. But if Jesus is just going to play, then... And Burmo to Rodgers, Van Heck to Kirkes, and João Pedro to Jesus for 3 frees. And Burmo to Rodgers, Van Heck to Kirkes, and probably, yes, they probably are worth it. Cruises. Start Sanchez or Fabianski. Apologies, I think I missed that. Start Sanchez or Fabianski. Sanchez home to Fulham. Bench Johnson or Sarr, or Johnson out for -4, Martinelli, Diaz. I would just play Sarr, Thomas. Start 2, Foden, Jota, Ahmad. Foden, Jota, Ahmad. Well, if you've got Foden, he has to start. And if you've got Jota, you kind of have to start him as well. I'd probably bench Ahmad. Merry Christmas. Thoughts Martinelli versus Odegaard for Saka. So, I understand with Odegaard, you're now likely to have an increased share of penalties and more set pieces. But from open play, I still think he's just going to be playing behind Jesus and Havertz, which I don't think is great for him. So, I would personally go Martinelli, but... Saka and Cole -4 hit for Trent and Martinelli, worth it. I mean, probably. It depends. Like, I don't know who the other player in the situation there is because you're not starting Saka. So who is it on your bench that you're upgrading to Martinelli, for example, in terms of a starting position this week? But I probably would use the Saka money to buy Trent for a hit, yeah. -4 for Flecken to Raya, Alisson. You've got 2 Arsenal, 2 Liverpool already. Yeah, fine if you want to get rid of Flecken. I probably prefer Alisson at the moment over Raya. I mean, the data that we looked at the other day is so good for I'm going to find a way to put that on the stream, but I'm not going to do it today. I'll find a way. Maybe I'll find a way now. Let me get it up. Media, that's what I need. Here we go. So yeah, this was looking at, I use this in all of my transfer targets videos. I'm going to be using it every week from now on, so I hope it's useful. I mean, looking at the defensive data, like Arsenal over the past 6 with 0.66 XG conceded over the last 6, the number in the top right, is crazy good. I mean, Liverpool are second over the season. They've been slightly worse over the past 6, but that's because they had that Spurs fixture where they conceded quite a lot of XG in there. But generally over the course of the season so far, Arsenal and Liverpool are neck and neck in terms of defences. Forest really interestingly in at third, and Bournemouth interestingly as the third best attack. Now, if you're looking at buying Bruno Fernandes, the fact that they're 10th is interesting. The only thing, of course, to caveat is this is team XG, right? So let's say Fernandes gets all of Man United's XG, he can still be a better pick than someone who plays for Liverpool, for example. But I just think it's quite interesting. And the feedback on the video was that you all found it interesting as well. So I'm glad you all did. Can I come closer? And then it's just this little corner. Ah, there we go. You took Bruno over Salah. So I think this is quite interesting. The other thing that we can also have a look at is the fixtures over the next 6 for difficulty. Palace have the best, which is why Salah is so popular. Southampton, Liverpool right up there. Man United low down. Arsenal, Man United are pretty similar. Yeah, there's not that much to pick between them. Like they both play Wolves away. They both play Brighton. Villa, Fulham, Spurs. Maybe Arsenal is slightly better, but they are ranked higher. Chelsea up there for the next 5 before they play City in 23. So, oh, I need to put it in subscriber only mode. If you haven't subscribed yet, drop a subscribe on the channel. You'll literally have to subscribe for 1 second to start using the chat again. And like the stream, we are 100 likes away from 1,000. If you could drop a like. If you are enjoying the stream, that would be fantastic. Would I do Cunha to Isak for a hit? Probably. Do I think it pays off this week? No, not necessarily. But do I think it will pay off eventually for you? Probably. So I probably would just get it done. Yeah. Why not Trossard over Martinelli? Because I still think Martinelli is first choice over Trossard. If they were to play like some, that's true. I mean, maybe Trossard should be one that we consider. How much is Trossard? He's actually more expensive. I mean, it's the minutes that we saw here, right? He's played 66 in the game against Palace when Martinelli played 90 there, so -4 Cunha to Isak, worth it this week, or go Jesus? I'd say Isak's a bigger priority than Jesus. Rashid, would I take a -4 Hall to Gabriel? I mean, I probably would. I just want Gabriel in. I'm not sure I'd want to be building a team without Gabriel in at the moment. Thoughts on Saka to Martinelli to free up funds for Isak? Yeah, I quite like Martinelli. Martinelli is up there with a pick I do like this week. I don't think I'll do it. I do fancy it a little bit though. Harry, what are your thoughts on Saka and Strand Larsen out for Isak and Kulusevski in -4? What are my thoughts on Saka and Strand Larsen out for Isak and Kulusevski in -4? Fine. I'm not particularly sure I love Kulusevski for a hit. I understand the hit's really for Isak, but I'm not sure I feel that in love with a -4 for that involves buying Kulusevski. But is it worth replacing Diego Dalot for a -4? Probably not. Like, he should start. I mean, if it's Dalot to Trent, then yes, but outside of Trent, probably not. Would I do Lewis to Trent for a -4 this week? As in Rico Lewis of City at home to Everton? No, probably not. I wouldn't be selling City defenders this week. I wouldn't be selling Gvardiol. I wouldn't be selling Rico Lewis this week. Even if it was to Trent. Who would I start between Ahmad and Semenyo? I do have a benching ranking as a little plug in the top right-hand corner where it currently says top 5 forwards. There will be a benching ranking coming up for you in about 10 seconds time. Go and check it out. It has all the rankings of the best and worst players to start. Lots of people asking about benching. Would I start this player or that player? It's up on the top right-hand corner now. The Gvardiol versus Rico Lewis one is looking weird. And the Kirkes one as well. Which means you don't see all of the bottom ones. There we go. Saka to Son. Son is not the one I'd buy. I also wouldn't buy Foden. I'm not sure those two are worth it, to be honest. Thank you very much for 1,000 likes on the stream. I appreciate it. Trent captain instead of Salah. Personally, I don't hate the Trent captaincy, but I don't have it in me to not captain Salah because it could easily be 4-5-0 and Salah could get an absolute monster load. So I don't think I would. I'm happy enough owning Trent. Start Ahmad or Enzo Fernandez. As per my team, Ahmad is in over Enzo. You have Palmer and Jackson. Start Enzo or Iwobi. I still would start Enzo over Iwobi, even with Palmer and Jackson. Would I play Martinelli or would I play Kluivert? If you've got Martinelli at home to Ipswich, for me, he's a definite start. Yeah. Do I always avoid playing attackers against my defenders? I mean, if I can help it, yeah, but it's not always possible. It's not always possible. Like in Game Week 20, I've got practically all my defenders playing against all my attackers. So we are in for a fun ride on that game week. Game Week 20, my team looks dreadful. There's not much I can really do about it. Hall or Enzo Fernandez? Enzo. I play the attacker in those situations. Dear Harry, what is my plan with Saka? I'm either going to roll and play Enzo Fernandez or I'm going to sell him using my transfer and buy Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is probably the best because I don't know whether I want Martinelli or I want Jesus. And I can leave the money in the bank and I can buy either of them in Game Week 19 if I so wish. If I didn't have triple Arsenal, I'd almost certainly be buying Martinelli. But I realise that there is a big chance that Jesus... Let's say Jesus keeps his place, then yeah, I want Jesus in my team. So the moment the plan is either to roll or it's to do Saka to Bruno. I should probably make a decision. And this chair, I'm sat on this little like wooden chair and my it's all going a bit numb. But I can't, otherwise you can't see my face. Good morning, Dan. Bruno and Isak are in. Would I take a hit to bring in Martinelli by swapping out Mbeumo? I don't think I'd do that. Brighton haven't looked great. I think I would keep Mbeumo. I don't think I'd sell him for a hit. Bruno's trash, let's be real. I mean, the data is really good. And like, if you watch the game against Bournemouth, he easily could have walked away with a return in that game. And then things are very, very different. Get a gaming chair. Don't worry. When I'm at home... Sorry for those wondering. The setup is looking different. Like the lighting and everything's different. Over Christmas, I do and stream as and when and where I can. So I'm in a like a sort of summer house office type thing, and I also have a really small green screen that I use when I travel, which you could see the corners poking out. But normally when I edit a video, I can edit that out, but you can't edit it out on stream. But anyway, we are here. We are here regardless. Bench Pedro, Rogers, or Ahmad. João Pedro, Rogers, or Ahmad? Rogers. I said Rogers last week, and I will say Rogers again. And I will say it again. Start Dibbling or Mikalenko? I mean, Dibbling. Yeah. Sorry, that's game week 19. Dibbling. Definitely Dibbling over Mikalenko. I mean, for the good of the Premier League, I am benching Mikalenko. Because hopefully that means he gets more points this weekend. And hopefully that means that City drop more points. Maybe it'll be a 3-1 City win and Mikalenko will score. But I'm doing it for the good of the Premier League. Apologies, City fans. To get City dropping some more points. I can edit the corners on stream. I'm not sure you can edit it into a circle, but maybe I can. I'll look up a tutorial. Is Salah a sell? Is Salah a sell? Like, start Ahmad or Enzo? Ahmad over Enzo, as per my team. Happy Boxing Day. Cunha to Jackson this game week, or wait? I probably would wait. It's not feel like a transfer I would be forcing through. And the other thing is, like, the only thing with Bruno is, let's say Bruno doesn't do well this week and then he walks into Newcastle at home, Liverpool away. I'm a bit like, that doesn't feel great, does it? But, like, the Wolves fixture is part of the reason you want him. And then he does have Southampton at home coming up as well, so. Is Cunha banned? Nope, Cunha is available if you own him. I would start him if you still got Cunha. Why Rogers ahead of Enzo? No, Enzo over Rogers. Did I say the other way around? Enzo over Rogers. Hello, Majed. Hope you're enjoying the holidays. Any news on Cunha? Cunha should be available. Like, if we haven't heard yet, there's no way that, well, okay, I'm not saying it's impossible, but the chances that that Cunha gets banned on Boxing Day for the game tonight is almost nothing. So I wouldn't worry about Cunha if you've got him. Should be fine, and he'll probably get to game week 19 as well if that impacts it as well. Explain the start bench graphic. Of course, the higher up the number, the better. Top left is good, bottom right is bad. So, like, João Pedro is a start, and Mikalenko in the bottom right, who you can't see because I've put others in there, is a bench. Who am I getting in place of Saka? Either Bruno, or I'm just going to roll my transfer and play Enzo Fernandez and hope he does something. Holly's going out somewhere. Focal said that Saka is the most sold player in history in a single game week. Yes, I believe that is right. Sold by, the previous highest was 2.8 million. And I believe he's been sold by, I don't know if I can see on here. No, but I believe he's been sold by more than that. I think he is the most sold player in a single game week ever. Any City news, Ortega or Ederson? We don't have anything yet. We still have like 40 minutes. Yeah, 43 minutes to go to the deadline. We might get something. I'd be surprised. We don't seem to get any City leaks anymore. We might get something, but yeah, we don't know. I wouldn't be using it as an opportunity to buy a City goalkeeper though. Luis Diaz, yeah. So the Liverpool mids we've spoken about quite a lot. I'm not confident enough on who starts for Liverpool tonight. Like, who's going to start for Liverpool tonight for you to be certain that it's Diaz? It could easily be Jota or Darwin through the middle. And then it's one of the others. Like, if it's Jota through the middle, it could be Darwin left, Gakpo left, Diaz left. If it's, let's say it's Darwin through the middle, it could be Gakpo left, it could be Diaz left. There's just too many situations. Ross has gone Bruno. I think Bruno's the most likely, or it's rolling my transfer. Oh, sorry. That's why you were asking, because my benching decision wasn't labelled the right way around. Thank you. I mean, Rodgers versus Enzo is really close. You could toss a coin and get a reasonable outcome for it. Let's break it down, right? Rodgers was very, very good against Manchester City. His attacking threat, his open play threat is good. There's probably an easier fixture for Enzo Fernandez. If you've already got a double up on Chelsea, then maybe you want to go and, start Rodgers. Maybe that's what we said last week as well, that if you had double up on Chelsea, I'd have started Rodgers over Enzo. And maybe I'd do the same again this week, just to not have that triple up in there. The open play threat is probably slightly better for Rodgers. Let's see what Enzo... I mean, the Chelsea game against Everton is not a particularly good example. He still put up 0.34, 0.48, 0.92, 0.25. Some okay data, but he's also expected to blank in some weeks as well. Start Castagna, Mikalenko, or -4 for Munoz. Start Castagna, -4 Mikalenko for Munoz. I wouldn't be selling Mikalenko. Abnor, let me have a look. You have Bruno. Should I do a -4 to get Foden and Jesus to the Pedro and Saka? I wouldn't be buying Foden. If I was punting on a player who I wasn't certain of, it would be a Liverpool midfielder, and we all know how I feel on Liverpool mids at the moment. So yeah, I don't love the Foden pick. It's just too expensive for what we're going to get, I think. The fixtures are good, but I don't think Everton is a particularly easy fixture. Saka and Cunha to Bruno and Isak. Saka and Cunha to Bruno and Isak for a -4. Saka and Cunha. Yes, I probably would. I think that's quite a popular couple of transfers. Sorry it took me so long to comprehend it. Sandeep, of course. Dunk to Trent for a hit. Yes. I mean, you say it's for a -8, but it's probably not a -8. Like, that transfer in itself is probably a -4. So yes, I would. Who do you replace Robertson with? I'd play Robertson at home to Leicester. Yeah. Get Munoz from Hall. I wouldn't be selling Lewis Hall to Munoz this week. I do like Munoz going forward, and I'm happy with it, but... yeah. You have one free transfer. Can I do João Pedro to Jesus or 8 Nori to Munoz? I'd keep João Pedro this week. Yeah, I would give João Pedro one more week. I know he's not been great, but I would give him Brentford at home. And if he blanks again, he may well go for me. This might be the final straw for him. But, yeah. The issue is he actually tends to do slightly better in slightly more difficult games, but at the moment, I think this might be... He's got to perform this week, I think, for me. Or that'll be it. Wildcard draft, I don't really have time to do it. It would look something like Raya, Munoz, Gabriel, Trent, and maybe Castagna and Mikalenko. Salah, Palmer, Sarr, and I don't know who the other two mids would be. It would then be Jackson, Isak, and probably Jesus. So it might be 2 cheaper mids if that's what you're able to afford. far broad. Let me have a look. Here. Wise to say at 2 Liverpool for slot manager chip in the double. I mean, yes. If we get to game week 24 and there's a double and you want to play the assistant manager chip and you've gone and bought Luis Diaz who doesn't start every game, then that might cause you an issue. And it might also cause you an issue if you buy Alisson. There is other opportunities further down the line to play that assistant manager chip though. That's not going to be the only opportunity you play it. But yeah. I'm bored of people moaning about enablers not getting consistent points. It's like people have forgotten how the game has always worked. Yeah, it's true. Like someone like an Ahmad and Enzo is not going to score every week. But the data between an Ahmad and an Enzo in the moment and someone like a Odegaard and a Fernandes is not big enough for it to be a real driver of you making a decision. But, you know, if we had Saka still in the game, then I wish Saka hadn't got injured. My team was so nice. I took a -8 to build this perfect team. And then Saka gets injured. I didn't need to take the -8. But anyway, here we are. Is it smart to go Salah to Bruno and then Jackson to Raul Jimenez? I mean, no. I don't even know which way round that is. Salah to Bruno, no. And Jackson out, no. I wouldn't do either of those. Liverpool will likely double in 32 and have better fixtures between 31 and 33. I don't think they're likely to double in 32. 33, maybe they double. That's the free midweek. Pretty sure 32 is a Champions League midweek. 33, I think, is it? Yeah, I think 33 is the predicted double. Later down the line. But also 25. Please rate your Saka, Odegaard, Diaz, Maddison, Sarr. Odegaard, Sarr, Diaz, Maddison. Maddison, Diaz. City team leaks, nothing yet. KDB, I wouldn't be buying City. You went 33. I mean, if we got City team news and Foden or De Bruyne starts, like, it is tempting, but I don't think I'd do it. Martinelli I like. Oh, but the issue, I really like Martinelli. Gabriel Jesus is the big issue with going Martinelli. Because if I go Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus looks great, and then I can't get to him. Raptor went Bruno. Of course he did. Let's just double up on United midfielders for Newcastle at home. I mean, next week for Newcastle, I'll probably play Enzo. That's probably a week that Enzo will come in away at Ipswich. Oh, Ahmad at home. It's a decision to make. It might depend on how they both do this week. If Ahmad scores and Enzo blanks, then it'll probably be whoever does well. Saka to Jota or Diaz for a hit. Personally, I don't love the Liverpool mids. I think it's too difficult to predict who starts today. Personally. Please put Chris Wood in the benching ranking. I would put him probably just above Ahmad or above Semenyo. I'd play Chris Wood over most of the midfielders, I think. Sells, Fabianski, Rodgers, Enzo. Which two would I start? Okay, presumably you can't play Rodgers and Enzo. And you've shortened the question. Sorry, my legs are... Ooh, my legs are going to sleep a little bit. Sorry. Sells, Fabianski... Fabianski over Sells, Rodgers, Enzo. Or Enzo over Rodgers unless you've got triple Chelsea, in which case maybe just play Rodgers. Most likely transfer for Saka is Bruno 60%, Roll 40%, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go Martinelli, despite the fact that he's my favourite, just because I don't want to block out going for GW18. That's basically where I'm at with it. What time is the deadline? We have 32 minutes to go until the deadline. Start A, Sar, or B, Sponge. Sponge is still on the Christmas eggnog. What transfers am I doing, Harry? Either rolling or doing Saka to Bruno. Either I roll or do Saka to Bruno. What chips have I used? I've only used the wildcard. I haven't used my triple captain yet. Are we forgetting that Bruno is really, really crap? The other thing for Bruno is he's really good for bonus. Like, look, like a goal, 3 bonus. Okay, a goal and 2 assists, fair, 3 bonus. Everton, he only played 65, so he didn't get any. Goal against Forest, 2 bonus. A goal against City, 2 bonus. Like, the Bruno goals are worth a lot. And that's something else you've got to consider. That's part of the reason that Bruno's really good. His baseline bonus is really good. So you get the extras. Why Munoz? I'm quite excited by Munoz, if I'm honest. It's just quite nice to have a player who's not, like, there's not that high risk with it because he's not massively competing against high other players. The fixtures for the long term are really nice. Like, I can play him pretty much every single week until game week 28. Apart from game week 24, he goes away to United, but Mykolenko has Leicester at home, I believe, in game week 28, game week 24. So I can play Mykolenko that week. So I just quite like having Munoz. He plays so far forward as well. So, yeah. My camera's just turned off. Is it our battery? Why is it not charging? Right, well, we'll see if it comes back on. It's on, but we'll see if it dies again. Because I wonder if it's not, the charging lead's not working. Oh, I thought that was it dying again. Right, let's have a look. It's back, but it doesn't say that it's charging. I don't know. Let's hope that it stays and that it works. Start 2, Ahmad, Jacob Murphy, and Rodgers. Ahmad definitely. Rodgers versus Murphy. I probably would go Rodgers based off minutes. What to do about Mbermo? I probably would keep him. I probably would just keep Mbermo for now, unless you want to. Yeah, there's not anyone really this week I'd go for. It didn't like my Bruno pick. Maybe that's what it is, yeah. Where would Iwobi go on your benching list? You're between him and Rodgers. I'd start Rodgers over Iwobi, but I am a Chelsea fan. But yeah, I'd play Rodgers over Iwobi. 6,000 of you in and watching. Thank you all very much. We are trying to hit. I know it's a big ask. Sorry, Jacob. Hi, Harry. Have a nice Christmas. Taking the risk on Diaz, but worth doing a -4 for Trent to play Mikalenkovic. I'd go for the Trent. I'd take the risk. We need a technical issues break. We may need it. But the camera is currently working. So if it had run out of battery, would it turn back on? Maybe. We are 340 subscribers from 150,000. And I know for a certainty that there are 340 of you watching the stream this morning that haven't subscribed to the channel. So if you do want to help us hit the milestone, please do drop subscribe on the channel. And if you have already hit it, but you want to help us get there as well, drop a like on stream as well. Start Ahmad or Semenyo. Let me put the benching ranking up. It is up on screen now, and it should have all the best versus worst players for you to bench this week. Is Cunha banned yet? No, Cunha is available for Wolves this week. Saka to Foden for a -4. I wouldn't go Foden, but I would be looking to sell Saka this week. Foden is not one I'd take a punt on. Oscar, Colwill to Timber for a -4 to get triple arse defense. Personally, I wouldn't do that, especially for a hit. No. Van Heck to Mikalenko. Van Heck or Mikalenko. Van Heck to start this week. Yup. Am I mad for considering De Bruyne for Saka? Will we get leaks if he's starting? The only situation I would recommend even considering a City midfielder is if we get a leaks that they're definitely starting, but I wouldn't do it. Could Jackson still get suspended if he picks up a yellow? Yes, there are 2 more games for every team in the league apart from Liverpool and Everton. They have 3 more games because, of course, they got the game postponed. It is 19 games played, not the 19th game week. For most clubs, the 19th game played comes in the 19th game week, but yeah, but because they had that game postponed, they have to wait a week. It's 19 games played by their club. So Jackson has 2 more games. He has Fulham at home, Ipswich away. Would I suggest Caicedo to Enzo and keeping Saka, or Saka to Martinelli and keep Caicedo? I mean, the Saka sale is much more important than selling Caicedo to Enzo. I would look to sell Caicedo at some point, but the Saka sale gets you much bigger money to buy a replacement. Just start Rodgers or sell Saka and bench Rodgers. I probably would sell. I think I'm going to sell Saka to Bruno. I don't love it, but I think it's fine. Have I missed any news worth knowing? Literally nothing. No early team news or anything as of yet. We've got 25 minutes to go until the deadline. Matoma or Sarr already have Matoma in your team. If I had Matoma, I'd probably play him this week over Sarr. Saka to Foden for a -4. Yeah, no, as I said, I wouldn't be selling Saka to Foden for... I wouldn't be selling Saka to Foden for free. You could give me transfers, and I don't think I'd be selling Saka to Foden this week. I'm not confident enough on City to be punting Phil Foden, I don't think. Buy Bruno or Ahmad for Saka replacement. I mean, Ahmad is better value, but right now we don't really need value picks, so... One sec. Start Cunha or Chris Wood. Cunha. Would I hit to get Munoz for Hall? No, I wouldn't do that. Why not Diaz for Saka? I just don't know for certainty that he starts, and I want players who I know are going to start every week. Jota worth a punt. Scores regardless of minutes. Yeah, but I understand that players like Jota are very good off the bench, but realistically, you still want players who are going to start games. That's realistically what you still want to be looking for. So, yeah, I would still not be going Jota, because I don't think he starts tonight. I think Darwin might start through the middle, which doesn't mean Luis Diaz doesn't start. He can play on the left, but Jackson or Enzo. Scared Jackson will get benched. I don't think Jackson will get benched. I would play Jackson over Enzo. Or replacement for Saka if wildcarding next week. I mean, I'd be tempted to just roll then. I'd probably punt on Arsenal. I'd make sure you have triple Arsenal, triple Liverpool. If you're wildcarding next week, part of me would just go, I'd go Martinelli or I'd go Jesus or something like that. Jesus, or I'd go Diaz, or try and find the Liverpool mid that starts. Good Christmas. I had a lovely Christmas, thank you. My first Christmas day away from my family. I'm with Holly's family and we had a lovely day yesterday. So yeah, it was nice. Start A, Sarr, B, Semenyo, C, Evan Nielsen. Either Sarr or Evan Nielsen. How do you feel on Bournemouth? If you think you'll win the game, then Evan Nielsen. If not, Sarr. Probably Evan Nielsen. -4 to take out Dalot. I mean, if you can do Dalot to Trent, yes, but there's not a guarantee Trent starts, but I probably would take the chance on it. Start Robinson or Nori. Why Bruno if I already have Ahmad? I mean, because I don't love any of the others. You were in Nottingham. I'm still near Nottingham, yeah. Rodgers or Enzo? Enzo over Rodgers, but if it's your third Chelsea, then maybe Rodgers over Enzo, but it's pretty close. It's going to be really close every week, and maybe you just start the same one every week and just hope you get some good weeks and some bad weeks. Sometimes it may be good, sometimes maybe shit. Maybe you do that. But if I had to pick this week, I'd go Enzo over Rodgers, but I said the same thing last week, so. Start Johnson or Strand Larson. Johnson over Strand Larson. Probably Johnson. And hope he comes back in the team. No, actually I wouldn't. I'd start Strand Larson because at least you know what you're going to get with him. Mikalenko or Robinson. Robinson over Mikalenko. You're going down to the world famous City Ground. I'm not. I am not. If I had 7.4 for a forward, who would I bring in looking to take out Cunha? If you can't get to Jackson, Isak, Jesus, I would just keep Cunha this week and reevaluate next week. I don't think any of them are worth selling Cunha for this week. We have, what's that? 20 minutes to go to the deadline. -4 on Cunha to Jesus. Cunha to Jesus for a hit. The upside might be there. Cunha to Jesus for a hit. Yes, I think I probably would take the chance on it. The Wi-Fi has held up. We are an hour and 40 minutes in the stream and we haven't even had one bit of lag. Is great. Very pleased with that. Oh, what's going on? I was just checking the stream looks okay. Checking everything is looking okay. God, it looks alright, apart from the bits in the corner. Then I have to come really close to the camera and then... Oh no. Is my camera charging now? I mean, it hasn't died again yet. So I have the same camera that Ross does. And I know his dies sometimes as well. When do I think I'll triple captain? Either game week 24, 25, if the double goes in there, and then 33. Enzo or Iwobi. In that situation, I'd play Iwobi. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. I'd play Enzo over Iwobi. I'd play Enzo. I'd just play the home fixture. Enzo's been pretty good. He looks pretty hungry at the moment. Is it worth Salah triple captain? I personally wouldn't. There's going to be enough... Oh, wow. There's going to be enough double game weeks further down the line. Why Bruno if we've already got Ahmad? Just because I have Bruno doesn't make Ahmad necessarily a bad pick. Sorry, I'm just trying to... Just trying to restructure things a second. Bear with me. We're almost... It's just that corner up there. Oh, we've basically got it. This is fun for you to watch. Trying to rearrange stuff to get the green screen to work. Any City team news? No, nothing yet. I'd be surprised if we get it. We basically get no City team news, but maybe. Let's see. Get Martinelli. I think I want to wait and see whether I want Martinelli or I want Jesus. Part of me thinks maybe, but I think I'm going to go Bruno. Right. We have 15 minutes. Right, let's crack on. Saka, João Pedro for Martinelli, Jesus for a hit. I'm not sure if João Pedro to Jesus is a hit. I'd just do Saka to Martinelli and do João Pedro up next week. Start Ahmad or Rodgers. Got Bruno. Ahmad over Rodgers, though. I'm probably going to do Saka to Bruno, I think. Any City leaks? Not really. No. Apparently, I saw... it's just something that someone's in the squad, but that doesn't really help us anything. And it's a player who's always in the squad, so... Your heart rate seeing my Saka there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell him. And it's going to be for Bruno, I think. It just leaves me the two routes to go, either Jesus or Martinelli next week, depending on what I see from Arsenal tomorrow night. I have enough to do Enzo to Martinelli. I theory I could do Enzo to Trossard, or I could do João Pedro to Jesus. I could do all three of them to get back to triple Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal's fixtures are not quite as good going forward, but they're still pretty good from an attacking point of view. So I do still think I want a Arsenal attacker in there. So I just got to work out whether it's Jesus or whether it's Martinelli. Oh, or do I just go straight to Martinelli? Why Bruno when he's getting smashed and they've got bad games coming up? Newcastle at home. I mean, these games are not bad. Like, I would say that's a pretty good run. Luis Diaz, yeah or nay? I mean, no, but I'm going Bruno, and I know a lot of you don't agree with that. I could just roll. Raya to Alisson on a wild card with Gabriel and Trent in the team. Raya to Alisson on a wild card with Gabriel and Trent in the team. I'd probably go Alisson over Raya if I was on wild card. Maybe I just roll. I've at least got Ahmad of Manchester United. What puts me off Gordon? Just that I've already got Isak, and I don't love... Like, Newcastle have been good recently, but they've not been incredible. I was just not really wanting the double up, but then, like, is it... Maybe I just roll. Maybe I just play Enzo. Take a punt on Martinelli. Mateta and Van Dijk or Wood and Trent. Wood and Trent. Am I doubling up on United? It's currently the plan, but... Any team news on Man City? No, nothing yet. Sorry, I'm just having a look. Ant, let me have a look. Sorry, I make that noise a lot, I realised, during this stream. 2v transfers, Saka to Martinelli or Sarr, Cunha to Jesus, -4, get Trent in. Trent is a bigger priority, and if Martinelli blocks off Jesus, I don't think Martinelli is the right play at the moment. Why not Ismail Sarr? I've got Munoz. I don't particularly want a double up on Palace, who have been pretty mixed so far this season. Because who would I bring in João Pedro if you get Martinelli? Well, exactly. Like, if I bring in Martinelli, I don't really have a replacement for João Pedro, which is why I think that Jesus is probably the most likely replacement for João Pedro, which means I don't want to go Martinelli. And it's just, is Bruno better? Is Bruno better than Enzo this week? That's the question. Probably slightly better. I mean, realistically, I'm going to end up with Bruno regardless, aren't I? At some point. Realistically, I'm going to end up with Bruno at some point, aren't I? Because what am I going to do with the money? If I go Bruno now, and then I go if I go Martinelli now, I've still got money for Bruno. Because like, if I go Martinelli, I'm still going to buy Bruno. Because I still got money for Bruno. And if I buy someone else, like I've still got money for Bruno in. I think. If Jesus wasn't on the cards, would I go Martinelli over Bruno? Probably yes. But if he's playing up front for them and he's playing good minutes, it's just really hard to turn down. And I might want to sell João Pedro because if he blanks again, João Pedro I'll want to take out. So the data's not been great. The performances definitely haven't been great. So I think Saka to Fernandes is the most likely. But if Martinelli, let's say Martinelli is the pick that goes right. Pedro to Duran, I'm not doing that. Like, if Martinelli picks right, I just do Enzo to Martinelli next week for free. That's the point of building things that I can hopefully not stress too much about. So I think Saka to Bruno. Is Bruno short term? No, if anything, Bruno's actually more long term because the fixtures for Bruno are like okay for the next couple, but they're pretty good from 21 basically till 27. That's a pretty good run. But even after that, like Arsenal at home, Leicester away. So that's the plan. United's a terrible shout. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't ideally do it, but Saka got injured, right? Martinelli is better. Maybe Martinelli is better, but is Jesus better than Martinelli? Martinelli all week, then picks Bruno. I'm not sure that's quite true. I think I've been saying I'll buy Bruno in pretty much all of my videos. As I've said, I like Martinelli more than I like Bruno, but I think I like Jesus more than I like Martinelli. That's the thing. That's the pinch point, really. Is Cunha to Isak worth a -4? Cunha to Isak, I would do for -4 just, yeah. Why start João Pedro over Enzo? I mean, I've already got double Chelsea attack, so. How long do I have? I've got 8 minutes. Right, I should probably click confirm on this transfer. The chat is not liking my double United midfielder, but I don't have to play it every week. How about going back to Mbeumo? If the fixtures were better for Mbeumo, I would go there. City team news. There's literally nothing. There's literally nothing. Yeah, I haven't seen any City team news, so Unfortunately, not much there. Why not go Odegaard instead of both? Because Odegaard doesn't let me do anything else. Like, Odegaard uses up the Arsenal slot and the same money as Bruno, whereas Bruno allows me to go another Arsenal, whereas Odegaard, I then am locked out of anything, really. So, my team looks crap now. Well, thank you. I think I'm just going to do it. Like, I appreciate that it means I've got double United mids, but... Sorry, let me refresh it. And there's also value to be made. I think Bruno's set to rise tonight as well, I think. Let me check. Sorry, I made that noise again. Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Fernandes, all predicted to rise, as is Isak. Okay. Would I do Pedro to Jesus this game week if I had a free transfer? I probably would do it for free, yes, but I'm going to do it for... I wouldn't do it for a hit. Saka to Fernandes. Saka out for a long time, basically. So, yes, 6 minutes to go until the deadline. You look like Hart from Kingsman. Thanks. I don't know which of them that is. I've watched the film, but I can't remember who is who. Why is Luis Diaz not in the top ranking? I just am not certain he starts today. Why no Foden? I mean, we're not also certain he starts, and City have been pretty average recently, I think. So, that's it. I mean, so have United. So have United, but... So, Saka out, Bruno Fernandes in. Confirm transfer. And that is that. Enzo first sub, Mikalenko second sub, Kamsi on Mo Salah, vice captain on Cole Palmer. It is done. Luis Diaz. If I knew Luis Diaz starts both of the next two, I'd do it, but I'm not certain he starts both this and the West Ham game. So that's why I wouldn't want to punt on them. At least I feel like I know I'm going to get minutes from Bruno. Who to start, Hall or Robinson? Hall over Robinson. Let me get my benching. Let me put this up for a longer period of time now. If you're looking at benching rankings, I'm going to put it up in the top right-hand corner now if you are looking for players to start versus players to bench. Bench Bruno for Enzo? No, I'm not going to do that. Bench Kluivert or Enzo? I'd probably play Enzo over Kluivert. Kluivert on pens. Probably Enzo over Kluivert. Matoma or João Pedro? I'd probably play João Pedro. Any Man City leaks? Literally nothing on City. There's no early team news going around on anything, so no. It's also getting really hot in here now. You madman, I like it. When Martinelli, Ahmad. Yeah, Martinelli I like. Martinelli may well be my transfer in next week. I think I have exact money to do Enzo to Martinelli if Martinelli rises tonight. Would I take a -4 to bring in Trent for Van den Berg? Yes. I'd play him over Colwell, yeah. And I would take a hit for Trent over Van den Berg if it helps you this week. Start two between Enzo, Rodgers, Kirkes, Robinson and Munoz. I presume you need one attacker, one defender. Enzo just about over Rodgers. Kirkes, Robinson, Munoz. I'd play Kirkes over both of them. Who to bench? Ahmad, Bruno, Rodgers or Visa. I probably would bench Rodgers, probably. It's either him or Visa, but I think I'd give Visa the chance. No leak, no nothing on City team news if anyone's waiting for City. News on Rico Lewis, no, nothing. Munoz or Howson, who would I start? In that situation, I probably would go Munoz over Howson because of the centre-back. What happened to Howson in the bench list? He's basically pretty high up, but I had to take him out because it didn't fit. Bench Rodgers or Kluivert. Probably play Kluivert on. No, I wouldn't. I'd probably play Rodgers. Start Ahmad or Semenyo again. It's in my benching ranking, which is up on screen in the top right-hand corner. Now, if you're looking for players to start or players to bench, it is in the top right-hand corner right now. Start Salah or Kerkez. Salah or Kerkez. Salah over Kerkez. I play the attacker. Start Rico Lewis or Hall. I'd play Rico Lewis and hope that he starts today against Everton. It's not guaranteed though. They could play Kyle Walker there. Start Mazraoui to Gabriel Saliba for a -4 or just start Lewis. I'd play just Lewis. I'm not sure I'd do that for a hit if you've got Rico. Presuming that's Rico Lewis. If that's Lewis Hall, then yes, I'd do the hit. Enzo or Rodgers, we've done. Mikalenko or Anderson. Probably Mikalenko, but there's not much in that. They're not great. How much money do I have in the bank? Like 1.8 million now. So Cunha or Ahmad. I'd play Cunha over Ahmad. Benching ranking. Top left is good. Bottom right is bad. It's all numbered anyway. It's all numbered. But we are about to hit the deadline. Please go and check your teams. I will put the benching ranking back up on screen now. We're into the final minute before the deadline, and it will be 20 seconds or so before you're hearing this from me. Please go and check your teams. Please go and lock in your teams. That will be all of the questions I have time to answer on the stream. So go and check your teams. Make sure everything is in place. That is my team, locked and loaded, ready for game week 18, the best football day of the year. We are ready. That is going to be all for this Q&A. We will be sticking around. We're going to do fantasy challenge. We'll be waiting for team news, all of that good stuff. Let me just go and tweet. But that is going to be everything. The game is going to be about to update. There we go. The game is updating. That is my team officially locked in. Thank you very much for joining. If you are heading off, we didn't quite get to 150,000. If you want to subscribe before you go, for a reminder of these things, drop a like on the stream. But we are going to stick around for a minute over the next little 15 minutes. Let me turn down slow mode for you all. Game week 18. People are saying that Nkunku has done a match day post. Oh, he has. That's not perfect, that, but it is what it is. Who did I sell? Saka to Fernandez. Salah, captain. Why not start Enzo? Because I'd already had double Chelsea attack. Do I wish I made the Bruno transfer earlier? Not really. I was never going to do it the day. The first drop was the one that impacted me. The price drop last night didn't actually impact me. Yeah, the deadline just passed. Sorry, I'm just posting on everything. I don't think Nkunku starts, but... Zayed, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it a lot. I hope you have a fantastic day. Good luck to your FPL team this week. Thank you Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Good luck to your team. And yeah, always supporting the channel. Thank you very, very much. Did Bruno rise? No, Bruno's predicted to rise tonight. I haven't missed a Bruno rise. Haven't missed a Bruno price rise so far. Fantasy challenge. Interesting. Yes, let's do fantasy challenge. Fantasy challenge. How long have we got until we get City team news? Any questions you want to ask in the chat, feel free. Right. Out of the box. Goals outside of the box are worth extra 7. Oh, okay. Who loves a pot shot from distance? Bruno does. Who... I'm like 300 subscribers away. Any Palmer captains? I think most people are on Salah. Let's have a look at this. Who likes a shot from distance? Stuffing or honey? Stuffing is one of the best things on a Christmas dinner. Stuffing, absolutely. Made 3 free transfers. Saka, Virgil, Pedro, out for Bruno, Trent, Jesus. Was it the correct moves? Saka, Virgil, Pedro, out for... Yeah, I like those moves. Palmer. Madison does. How much budget have I got? Unlimited budget. Right. Why do I have to pick 3 defenders? Alright, well, Trent's going in. What other defenders like to shoot from 30 yards? Oh, who takes free kicks? Yeah, Porro. Who takes the free kicks as well? Porro away at Forest. Who else is going to score a free kick that plays in defence? Dallo? Luca Dean? I'm going to go Luca Dean. Goalkeeper, who's going to get a clean sheet? Allison. Yeah, let's go Allison. And why are they in a really weird order? What are they ranked by? Oh, total points. No. Haaland in. Every week, Haaland. Who else? What forwards like to shoot from distance? Maybe I go another midfielder, but I still need another forward. Let's just put Isaac in a sec. Hang on. Oh, 3-4-1. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this. Do I watch any championship football? Not really, if I'm honest. Salah in. De Bruyne. We'll change De Bruyne if he doesn't start. And I don't really want Haaland captain. I'm going to put De Bruyne captain. I'm going to leave it at that. But we'll change De Bruyne if he doesn't start this week. If you want to join... if you want to join the league for the... Oh, Cunha's a good shout. Durant. If you want to join the Fantasy Challenge League, the code will be in the top of the description if you go and check it out. There's also the code for the main league as well if you're in there as well. I was actually thinking during this stream, I'm not in London anymore, and I'm wondering if I've seen a pigeon today, and I'm pretty certain I haven't. I don't think I've seen a pigeon today. This is Fantasy Challenge. You get a little challenge you have to do every week. Goals outside the box are worth extra 7. Maybe Haaland's not right, but maybe I take Haaland out and I go and put Cunha in. So many pigeons in your garden. Are there? I can't see a single pigeon. Wow. Right. How long have we got? 8 minutes. Is anything going off on Twitter? Who did everyone else buy? I think Oscar went Yeah, Oscar went Odegaard. Did Ross go Bruno? I think Ross went Bruno. Yeah. You hate pigeons. Yeah, I mean, we're not necessarily big fans of pigeons on this channel, but we are... I can't see the top of my head. How long has that been the case for? There we go. Good morning. Yeah, we don't particularly love pigeons, but it's just how often do you see them? It's a real conundrum. Mikalenko to Munoz next game week. Potentially. Should we do some planning? Let's do some planning, shall we? And see what the team looks like next week. Here we go. So what did I do? I did that one transfer. Cool. Game week 19. This is what my team is going to look like in game week 19. So as I said, the plan probably... Munoz at home Southampton. Love it. Trent away at West Ham. Gabriel, David Raya. Palmer, Salah. Probably Ahmad, Bruno. If Enzo looks good, then maybe I play Enzo over Ahmad. João Pedro, Isaac. The plan is probably to buy an Arsenal player in either Martinelli or Jesus. So I'll either do... I can do Enzo to Martinelli or I can do João Pedro to Jesus. In which case, if I bought that, it would probably be... If I bought Martinelli... If I bought Martinelli, I'd probably bench... if I buy Martinelli for Enzo, I'll probably bench Ahmad, depending on how João Pedro looks. And if I buy Jesus, then I'll probably leave Enzo on the bench. But it's depending on how people play. Game week 20 is the rough one for me. The fixtures don't look great for my team. Let's say I do the João Pedro to Jesus, which feels most likely at the moment. Let's say I do that. And then game week 20 is where things look a little bit rough. Probably bench Ahmad against Liverpool, given I've got Bruno. Triple Chelsea against Palace. Salah, Fernandes, Jesus, Isaac, Gabriel, Trent. Probably Munoz over Mikalenko. And right, it's not a great week for my team, game week 20. You're a Liverpool fan. Who do I think will win the title this season? I think Liverpool will win the title. Wait, wasn't the deadline over at 11:30? No, it's always 11. Always 11 on a Saturday morning. Unfortunately. Apparently Kyle Walker is not... Oh, here we go. Apparently Foden starts and Kyle Walker in the City is not in the squad, which presumably means that Rico Lewis should be starting. Ederson, Mateus Nunes and John Stones are all absent as well. So that should be Ortega in goal. Means Gvardiol may be at centre-back. No, maybe not. Maybe Gvardiol at left-back and Simpson at centre-back. We'll get the team news in 3 minutes anyway. Then we'll have a look at it. But it looks like Rico Lewis should be starting. If there's no Nunes, I don't quite know what that does for their defence and their midfield as well. Will Villa make Champions League football? I mean, they could. I think it'll be pretty close, that 4th spot. What did I say? Did I say have a good weekend? Again. I'll enjoy the football. I always say have a good weekend to people because I just presume. Team news is out. You have Lewis, City 4-0. I mean, if you've got a City defender this week, this has surely got to be a good fixture to have them in. with no Rico Lewis. We got 2 minutes to go, and then we'll have a look at the official team news. Murphy Newcastle is criminally underrated. I really liked him at the start of the season, but he started really slowly, as did Newcastle. I think he's such an important player for them, though. Merry Christmas to you, Mayank. Merry Christmas to you. Triple captain Salah, hope he plays well. It's a good week to as a single, it's right up there. It's a great opportunity to play the triple captaincy, I think. I'm saving it for a double, and that's probably what I'd recommend. But yeah, I like it. Any questions we got in the chat? Merry Christmas. Got a nice drive from Warrington to Essex later on. I'll enjoy that. Hopefully there's some football to keep you entertained. Do I play the lottery or football gambling? No, not really. Any turkey sandwiches today? Yes, hopefully. I'm sure there will be. Roast ham as well. Leftovers. I missed a super chat. I'm sorry. I do my best, particularly with these small screens. I can't really see what's going on half the time, but... Score predictions for Chelsea. I predicted 2-1, I think. What 3 meats make a Christmas dinner? 3 meats? I mean, we have turkey, stuffing, pigs and blankets and that. We don't really have 3 meats. How am I doing today? You started Hall and bench Colwell. Is that okay? I think it was that way around. It's pretty close on my benching ranking, but I think I put Hall above Colwell, yeah. Am I going to the game today? I'm not actually, because I'm away for Christmas. I never really go to the Boxing Day football. That is, let me get to the Man City lineup. I'm saying nothing. Lewis, Akanji, Ake, Gvardiol, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Savinho, Foden, Doku, Haaland. No start for Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne on the bench. Let me have a look at Everton's lineup as well. Our man Mikalenko is in the lineup. Of course he is. Time is the deadline, 15 minutes ago. I do have a season ticket at Chelsea, yes. Yeah, pretty standard lineup from Everton as well. Calvert-Lewin starts. Mikalenko, the guy, starts. Whoa. The City bench is crazy good. Yeah, it always is. Update the FPL Challenge teams. No De Bruyne. Oh, of course. Oh, well. Foden in, and let's put Maddison captain. Let's change that up. I sit in the West Lower. No Kevin De Bruyne. Had to change it up. Anyway, that is all. The team news is officially out. I'm probably going to go have a cup of coffee and maybe start eating some Christmas leftovers because it's 11:15 in the morning, and what better time to start eating Christmas leftovers than 11:15 in the morning. But thank you all very much for tuning into the stream. I hope it was useful. Hope we got through everything and answered everything that you needed us to. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy all the football. If you're still with family and stuff, enjoy that as well. Thank you all for watching. Have a lovely day. There'll be a video back probably tomorrow at some point when I get round to it. The podcast will also be out tomorrow. So yeah, lots to happen. Thank you all very much. Have a lovely rest of your day. Enjoy the football. Fingers crossed for some green arrows, and I will see you all very soon.